Senator Joseph Silk, the author of Senate Bill 13, wants to make all abortions a crime in Oklahoma, even going as far as to classify them as felony homicide. He is calling on the state to ignore federal rules on abortion. And joining us now in studio, Senator Silk. When did this become something that you're very passionate about?
The year after I got elected. I've always been passionate about pro-life issues, but the typical pro-life bills don't really do anything. They haven't done anything. And so that's why we moved to the abolition style bill, and I've run it every year for, I think, 3 years now.
But you've run it every year for 3 years now. It hasn't even gotten out of committee. What makes you think 2018 or 2019 will be different?
It takes a lot of education. I've talked to a lot of senators over the years, and they're starting to understand that there's a big difference between the typical pro-life legislation, which just regulates basically abortion and doesn't really do anything to curtail it, and they're starting to see that. And any kind of big momentum shift like that, it just takes a while to educate people.
What is the exact language in this bill classifying an abortion as felony homicide?
Yeah, that's correct, because life begins at conception. So what the bill does is it offers a human life protection through all phases. So at the moment of fertilization, it offers them the same protection as, say, a 1-year-old child.
What happens to a woman who has an abortion in Oklahoma if this bill were to pass and become law?
Well, a lot of that would be played out in the courts. If this bill passed and an abortion was an actual felony, it would depend on what act she played in it and what role she played in it, just like a murder of a 1-year-old or 1-month-old baby.
Are there any exceptions to this rule?
There isn't.
This law?
No, there's not. Again, there's no.
So incest, rape?
No, there's not. There's very, very unfortunate circumstances that are very small percentage that do take place, but a life is a life. And you have to kind of decide, are we going to protect all human life or are we not? And that's the big question.
I know we got several questions about this where they wanted to know how you would feel about your family members if this happened to them and then they would face prison time. How do you relate that back to your own loved ones in your family?
Well, I have full support of all my I have 5 daughters and my wife, and they are all fully supported, and my extended family, and so we all see it the same way. And a lot of my constituents, as far as protecting innocent human life, regardless of the circumstance.
Do you have any personal experience related to this issue that has somehow made you so passionate?
No, I don't. Me and my wife have 7 kids. Number 8's on the way, and we've had a miscarriage and stuff like that. So we've been around the pregnancy issue quite a bit, and talked to OB doctors and stuff like that. So I've always had a heart for it, but nothing specifically, no.
We talked to the ACLU, and they responded to this bill. Let's take a listen to what they had to say.
Senator Silk has shown time and time again that he is not particularly interested in upholding the Constitution, despite the fact that he's taken an oath to do so. Women absolutely have the right to make their own personal decisions about their reproductive health care. This is an affront to our understanding of what it means to have autonomy over your own body.
What do you say to that?
So unfortunately, when they talk about this bill not being constitutional, what they're referring to is Roe v. Wade. And what's sad about the ACLU, and I haven't got a response from them on this at all, is the Supreme Court once ruled that slavery was legal. But they don't want to challenge the Supreme Court. So if we took their method of thinking and their statements like that, they wouldn't have challenged the Supreme Court rulings on slavery. And so that's kind of something that we've got to get over, that the Supreme Court sometimes needs to be challenged. They've made horrible decisions in the past, and the states need to stand up and challenge those decisions when they're immoral decisions.
Speaking about the constitutionality of this, we've heard from viewers who say this feels self-promoting on your part because there's no way that this would ever pass in Oklahoma. So what is your intent if really there is no way this will ever pass?
Well, I think there is a way it could pass. Again, like I said at the beginning, there is momentum growing for it. But again, whenever slavery, I like to go back to slavery because the legal routes of how these are going are very similar. The abolitionists back in the day, people would laugh at them and say, "There's no way you're ever going to abolish slavery." And it's very similar today. People say there's no way you're ever going to get rid of abortion. But when you're talking about 2 moral issues, I think it's a growing movement, and I think there absolutely is a way to do it.